in case you decide to purchase a budgeted asset, there are a couple of things that are very important. And the first one is that you should create a new fixed asset card. So this means that you cannot purchase your budgeted asset itself. And so what I need to do now is create a new card. So suppose that we're actually going to purchase the forklift truck 1 year later. Then I will create a new card. Truck advance, for example, so just to have a difference with the first one. So this is tangible, this is vehicle, there we go. So I will just set it up like any other fixed asset. I suppose that we actually will purchase this at March 1st, 21. There we go. And the number of depreciation years is 5. So I've created now the fixed asset card for which I can now post a purchase invoice. So that's the first thing that is very important. You have to create a new fixed asset record. The second thing that is very important is to reverse the budgeted amount because we have to make sure, let me go back to the list of fixed assets. We have to make sure, of course, that future depreciations don't include the budgeted asset anymore because we will have a current asset for the new forklift truck, you see? Now, there are two ways to reverse the amount. And the first one is by entering the budgeted asset number in the purchase invoice. Let me show you this. So I'm creating now the purchase invoice for my new fixed assets. So I will purchase from vendor 10,000 and suppose that this happens somewhere in 21 and so on. So I will enter the fixed asset number. So let me first select type fixed assets, then the new forklift truck. You can enter the amount like we saw in previous examples and so on and so on. And like I just said, most important here, if you want to reverse the budgeted amount from the purchase invoice, you have to enter the budgeted fixed asset number. Now this is a column that you can display by going to personalize. So I can click here on add fields. So let's have a look at the fields that we can add. There we go. And if you now scroll down, you can see here the field budgeted fixed asset number. So if I would add the field somewhere, doesn't matter where, let's add it here. And just click here on done. You see that you can now enter your budgeted fixed assets. So for example, this one. However, in most cases, I will not use this way of working for the simple reason that the actual amount has to be the same as the budgeted amount. So and even in case that you have a very small difference, you will see that the invoice will not post if you enter the budgeted fixed asset number. So in most cases, I will just leave the budgeted fixed asset number blank. I will just post my invoice and then I will simply delete the budgeted assets, you see? So instead of reversing the amounts, you can also simply delete the budgeted fixed asset because you don't need it anymore, you see? So we purchased the truck, so I don't need the budgeted asset anymore. So I can select it, click on delete. Yes, and there we go. So the budgeted asset is now deleted.